In the studio today, we have a chap called Nick Tolewski, and this book was put across my desk by an old bud, Victor. The V-Man.
The V-Man.
And he's listening, so good morning to V-Man, and I'm sure Paige and Kira and are out there listening with him. And he threw this book against me. He goes, what do you know about the Thomastown Sharps? And I knew two things. I knew, one, you avoided them, and two, Bowie was the guy that led them. And I knew a few little stories here and there, all good urban myths. And he goes, well, you're going to love this book I've got called Once Were Sharps. And I had a great read of it. And we've got one of the authors today, Nick Tolewski. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. How you going, Phil, Pete and Rick? Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, mate. Really good. We just can't wait to talk to you about it. Because Thomastown Sharps, I've been trying to explain to my partner, who's not quite as old as us, about the Thomastown Sharps, and can't quite get a handle on it. But I'm so excited about it because the Thomastown Sharps were not just famous, infamous, I suppose.
Infamous.
And they were, I don't know if their legend was as big as them, but they were just a big thing in the 70s in the northern suburbs.
So tell us, Nick, what's your part in this? How do you know about the Thomastown Sharps?
I was born and bred in Thomastown, and I used to hang around at the local pinball parlour Andy's in the boulevard there. And as a little kid, I'd see all the Sharps fight, this and that. I used to shit myself and go under the billiard tables, and it just stuck to me. And I thought, I've got to write something about these blokes because they're all getting old now, and want something out there, so everyone can remember about what they've done.
So how old are you, Nick?
I'm only 42.
You're 42, yeah. So you're
about 10 years.
10 years is just sort of
below us.
Because we were just a couple of years younger than these guys. So, yeah.
As we go along.
Yeah.
Andy's takeaway there was a great joint to be around.
Oh yeah. All the Sharps hung around there. A lot of blokes hung around there. The one across Andy's across the road from the Thomastown station on the boulevard.
Yep.
On the boulevard.
I know it is. No. Well,
beautiful hamburgers.
Let's have the money machines.
I got some at home.
Have you really?
I have, yeah.
Money machine. They were the precursor to poker machines. Poker machines. Amazing. Did anyone ever win on those things?
Andy.
$5 or $6 a few times.
Enough to buy a packet of Marlboro.
As you go along. There's a couple of elements we want to get to, Nick. The first one I'm interested in is the nicknames. Yeah. Do you know where they all originated from?
I think Bowie, something to do there with David Bowie.
Yep.
You got Big Louie, was big.
And Louie?
He was big and tough. He was big and
his
tough,
name was Louie.
He was big and tough. He was probably the toughest out of all the Thomastown Sharps.
Lips,
Alan Fadelaide. I haven't seen him. He's living in Templestone.
Yeah, okay. Lives in Templestone.
Yep.
It's amazing when you see these photos in the book, and if anyone is and everyone from the area is listening to us, you want to grab the book because it's got some absolute ripper photos. Some of the stuff that we used to wear back in the 70s. These guys were the trendsetters, the fashion setters, all right? The bib and braces, overalls.
With the top button under.
Fair income. The Conti cardigans. You wore them now. People just, people actually beat you up if you wore them. But those days you wouldn't go near these places for wearing these stuff.
Now, I used to wear a Conti cardigan. I was never a Sharp, but it was a hand-me-down from my brother. Do you reckon my brother was a Sharp?
Your brother was pretty tough.
He was pretty tough, wasn't he? Because he had the tattoos. Now, it was tattoos when tattoos weren't...
Yeah, they were tattoos in them days. Everyone thought, big criminal, or keep away from this bloke. But nowadays, everyone's got tattoos.
Yeah. Even the girls.
Yeah.
If you had tattoos, you could fight. That's why I never got them.
Can you describe a Conti cardigan? It's like you wouldn't... I can't believe that the people that wore them were tough.
That's what I'm trying to say. Look at the photo of these guys. Look at the base of your rollers.
They were brightly coloured. They were tight. They were short. You wore them up high. I remember. Do you remember I had one which was crimson with gold?
I think we all had a Connie.
We all had it.
And my brother had one which I got a hand-me-down. They were short sleeve.
You can get short sleeve ones too. Yep.
Short sleeve. Tell me, can you still get them? Are they still?
You can get them on. They're hard to find. eBay. They're a bit of money though. Or there's a Skins and Sharps website there. Sam Biondo. He's got hundreds of them.
Because we went to school with Carlo Conti, and his parents, family, was the ones that actually
had it in Thornbury.
In Thornbury, Conti.
And there used to be the tram. I can't remember what the tram stop number was, but everyone knew to go there.
Yep.
And sort of get it. And the Fabergé jeans. And
I wasn't tough enough to have a Conti coat. I also had a makeup one. I think me Nan knitted me one.
And you had the Staggers jeans, the real high up Staggers jeans with your thing sticking out, are you?
Now, one place you feared in those days, Nick, was the train from on the Epping line there. They did a bit of damage along the way, on the way to the city, didn't they, at times?
Yeah, what I've been told, yeah.
And I know, if you ever come across them late at night, coming back from a city or the footy or whatever, it was always scary moments.
I was telling Nick during the week when I spoke to him, like I knew they were to be avoided, but I don't think they were more not gang related, I suppose gang related or protective of their own rather than hitting innocent people.
Yeah, no, they would never hit innocent people and that.
No, it was more the thing.
Other gangs, if they seen another gang with Connie tops there or that, they'll go.
They'd go their best.
Take their cardigans off them.
There's a story in the book where the Thomastown Sharps come back from a building site and got back on the train, got some hammers and started seeing some blokes in there and started throwing hammers at them and out of the train. One hammer went straight through the window of the train. As
you go through. There's a part of the book I've read, the Thomastown Quarry. Where was that? Where they were swimming and
Main Street, Thomastown, all the way down, right to the end, and just keep on walking.
Yeah, and keep on going.
Straight to it. Yeah,
and they used to go swimming in there.
That's where Humphreys Hill was. And everyone
That's right. Actually, I went swimming in the quarry there.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Because there was a young bloke lost his motorbike to an Evel Knievel stunt, I suppose is the best way of describing it. Is that right, Nick?
Yeah, Mitcho, that was Mitcho. I done a few things at the quarry there we couldn't write about in the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what the ones that are still out there at the moment that were in this gang, what sort of life do they live these days? Do you know, Nick?
A few of them have passed away.
As you would.
There's few of them probably in jail.
Yeah.
Any doctors or lawyers amongst them?
There is one teacher, Snatch. He's a teacher. Snatch. He's a teacher.
If you're listening, Snatch.
Exactly.
Snatch is a teacher.
What's he teach?
He teaches high school in Dalesford.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Good on you.
Somewhere around that area there, it's in Dalesford, yeah.
As he's gone through there. Do they... what else was I going to ask? There's so many questions I've got to ask here. Bowie himself, he's described, and we wanted to mention too, Dean Crozier.
Yeah, Dean Crozier. Done a real good job.
Co-author with you.
So is Dean part of it, or how's he involved?
I started writing it, and he writes for the North Melbourne Footy Club a bit, and he seen me, goes, Nick, I can help you out a bit, this and that. So,
good on him.
Yeah, he chopped me out and done a real good job. Without him, probably wouldn't have been done.
Yeah, he did a great job. He's
done a great job. Yeah. I like the way Bowie's talked about as a leader, right? He's egalitarian leader, Rick. Do you know what an egalitarian is? And he was very consultative. Yep. He wasn't narcissistic so much, though. He's not up there thinking, it's my way or the highway. Yep. He'd consult with everybody.
Yep. So he'd have team meetings, would he?
Type of thing, yeah. And he wasn't a big drinker or he looked after himself.
Still does. He's big, muscly bloke.
You'd always see Bowie's name written all over the
walls.
Over the bus stops?
All over the area.
Shelters?
Yes. Down the train line down Epping, you'd see Bowie here, Thomastown Sharps here, Dingo here.
Sure you weren't part of that gang?
I'm sure I was. But I'm sure Bowie wrote his name across Holy Name Church at one stage.
He probably did.
As he goes along. I'd be interested to know, any occupation, let's say you said one's a teacher, any other occupations, or is there many?
We got Dingo, he works at the Whittlesea Council.
Oh, does he? What's he do there? We let us say, or?
He works on the trucks there.
Okay.
Clean up and that.
And all those guys are happy with this to go out? Did you talk to them?
Yeah. I interviewed him, the book took about 4 years.
Jeez.
Interviewing stories and make sure the stories were right. I didn't want to put, nothing that wasn't true in there. So if someone told me a story, I had to go and just make sure it was all true with the other boys. So it took about 3.5, 4 years.
How many members were at the Thomastown Sharps?
Probably the core members, probably about 30, 35.
Okay.
But with the street runners, they were a gang from Thomastown and Laylaw, and street rebels. It was probably about 100.
And how did you become a sharp? What was it? Was there an initiation?
How did you become a member?
Did you get recruited? Were you drafted, or is there something special they'd look for? And they'd see you walking. This kid looks alright. He can kick with both feet.
I reckon if you could find you look tough and all that, look the part, mate, they would have sent.
They'll sort of drag. Yeah. Is there anyone that thought they were a Thomastown sharp, but the rest of the group shunned them away?
Probably 1,000 of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. I'd met a couple of people that claimed to be Thomastown sharps. Even Mongoose could have had a crack at them.
I've had some people that 35 years old telling me they were Thomastown sharps. And they're 35 years old.
So, and I know, like, there's a story there early where it was a bit too hot for some people. Like, there was a guy there that was on the train with Bowie, and he got off at Keogh Park Station there, and this is just too hard.
Yeah, Dave.
Dave, yeah. All right, we've got. Just go on before we go. Who we got, Pete?
We've got a call on the line that wants to have a yak to you, Nick. It's Giuseppe.
Hello, mate. How are you, Nick?
Hello, Giuseppe. How you going, mate? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. Hey, do you follow Thomastown?
I'm always there, mate, selling the books there.
Yeah. I'm Giuseppe from Laylaw. You might remember me. I talked to you last year when Thomastown played Laylaw.
Big guy.
Oh, yeah, I know Giuseppe. Yeah, how you going, mate? How are you, all right?
Yeah, not too bad, all right. You keep up the woodwork, or I'll see you later, buddy. Bye.
All right, you take it easy, Giuseppe. Take it easy.
Now, Nick, just looking through the book here, it's fantastic, some of the photos. Looks like there was a bit about a showdown at the showgrounds with the Black Dragon.
Yes.
Now, some of these brawls were planned in advance, weren't they? By the look of it.
Yeah, sort of. They sort of never really liked each other, the Black Dragons and the Thomastown Sharps, even though at times they did become friends and they fought again and friends again, and yeah, that's that sort of...
Love-hate relationship?
Yeah, that's how it was.
One of the things, it's different these days.
Sorry. Every time I open a photo, I can't stop laughing. There's a photo of some of the boys having a leak against the shed in the Fabergé, and they've got the best buns you've ever seen in your life. They've got
great pubs these days.
That's a Big Louis joint.
The Big Louis joint.
Was Big Louis the headquarters? Or?
Was there
for half of the people, yeah.
Or was it Andy's the headquarters?
Oh, there's a few places. There was Alexander Avenue, the park there.
Yep.
Andy's... Oh, there was a few places, but the main ones were Andy's, Alexander Avenue. A few of the boys hung around at Big Louis.
There was some other guys... I've got too many questions. I can't get them all out at once. There was a couple of... There was a very famous... Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. Sorry, I'll spit that out. Nick? There was a very famous sportsman, Olympian, lived very close to all this. Gary Honey?
He was my neighbour.
He was your neighbour, the Honeys, in the same street?
So did David Glascott.
Ah, right.
Same street. Thomas Street, Thomastown.
Thomas Street. Now, it says it was a very inventive name, whoever was naming the streets in Thomas Street. Did any of the boys play sport or footy or...?
Yeah, a lot of... a group of the Sharps played for East Thomastown Footy Club years ago.
Oh, yeah, East Thomastown.
Yeah. I think they had the Collingwood jumpers.
Yeah, they did. They
got into a few fights and they had to stop.
I can imagine.
Yeah, they stopped.
Imagine playing against them.
If you're lined up. Because, as Pete says, they're built like tanks, aren't they? I just wonder if they played,
I never really seen them play, but I heard they used to punch on a lot.
And were they into boxing and...
Yeah, a few of them were, yeah. Bowie done a bit of boxing, karate. Big Louis was just naturally tough. And people say, everyone brags about Big Louis. One-on-one wasn't fair to Big Louis. He had to be at least 3-on-1.
Can I ask you, there's a photo here. One of the guys is John D. Do you know John?
Yeah, Johnny Dub. Johnny Dub.
My ex-wife used to... go out with John. Was probably a boyfriend before me, Crooksy. There's an interesting one.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought that was him when I saw
and
the
his brother as well. Mark,
I don't know his brother, but they
John.
lived in the same street as a good friend of ours, Rhonda. If you remember Rhonda?
Yes,
they lived right
absolutely.
around the corner from us. So.
Yeah, there's the two brothers there, Mark and John.
There's a photo to show of Crooksy when you get home.
I think John's living in Queensland and Mark's in Scotland.
Because, he was going out with the person that I married and... took me a while to ask her out because I wasn't getting his permission first.
Now, what about Big Ears?
Oh, Big Ears, yeah, he's in Adelaide. I haven't caught up with him lately. He was a big, tough guy as well. Real big, mean-looking guy.
The